A little bit about the experience of going to the NCAA tournament and then getting a hard-fought win while you were there.
Well, it's what I remembered. You know, I had experience at the Division II tournament before, where I was at Florida Southern, and you know, it was very similar. It was run very much the same. You know, and our results pretty similar. You know, I've never lost a first round game in the NCAA as an assistant, and I told my girls that, and you know, so I was pleased to keep that going. Our match against St. Ed's was a great match. It was back and forth. You know, it was down to the wire. You know, the match point was just an unbelievable point. The way it actually scored, and you know, it was exciting. Both teams walked away feeling like they just played a great match. You know, and so you can't ask for really much more than that. You know, the experience there was good. You know, they treated us well. We didn't have any issues with travel or hotels. It was good travel. You know, good time, and you know, I thought we played pretty well in our second match against Central Missouri. They're a very good team. Obviously, they advanced to the regional. You know, through the regional into the Elite Eight, and but I felt like we had chances to win. You know, we played pretty well, and you know, I feel like we represented ourselves really well when we were there.
Talk about I don't know. You've probably seen a court like that, the red, and was that kind of tricky?
Sport. It's called Sport Court, and all of our kids loved it because that's what they're used to playing on. Okay. All the club tournaments they play in, all the big qualifiers and nationals are all played on those types of courts. You know. So it didn't affect them at all. You know, the colors were kind of crazy. You know, but still, it was a great environment. You know, there were a lot of fans there, a lot of people supporting volleyball in that area, so it was a fun place to play.
And what was the mood like coming back, Coach, knowing that, you know, I mean, it was a great season, but the run was over, and you know, there weren't any matches this season still to look forward to and that sort of thing. So it was different in that regard, obviously.
Well, yeah, I would say probably 2 or 3 hours after the match, you know, and it was pretty somber. You know, our kids were disappointed. But then when they kind of had a chance to sit back and reflect on, you know, what we had done and, you know, what our season was about and the goals that we had achieved, I feel like they came home pretty satisfied. You know, not happy, but you know, definitely wanting to do better, but still feeling pretty good about what they had done.
I guess, Coach, if you could, no, I mean, I was tough to say one signature thing, but what's one thing you're going to remember from this season and your girls?
Well, you know, the fact that they decided this is what they wanted, you know, and they went and did it. And, you know, I tell you, I'm sure they were tired of hearing the year 1992, because that's all we talked about, because that's the last time that, you know, we were in the tournament. You know, 91 was the last time we won a match, you know, and all summer, all last spring, that's all I talked about was 1992 and getting our own piece of the pie up there, you know, a banner for ourselves, you know. And so I'm sure that, you know, that will stick in their heads, the fact that they accomplished something that hasn't been done here in quite a long time, you know. And what I hope they take from it is that we don't want to be a one and done type of deal, you know, here today, gone tomorrow. We want to be here for the long haul. You know, I want to be one of those teams and programs that just is consistently competing for regional and national championships. And, you know, so we've taken a great step towards that. That's all it is a step. You know, we've got to continue to build and train and get better and recruit and all those things that go into it so that it becomes, you know, every year, not just once in a while, you know. And that's I hope they take that away, that it was a great achievement, no doubt. And we're pleased, I'm pleased, you know, but I'm greedy. You know, you're always, as a coach, if you don't want more, you know, there's only one. One of the parents had sent me a text after the match and said there's only one coach in the country that, you know, gets to win their last match of the year typically. And, you know, I want to be that coach, you know, and I want our team to be that team. So we're just going to keep going forward.
Yeah, Coach, the good thing is you only lose the 3 seniors. I mean, they're 3 good players, obviously, but the bulk of the nucleus of the team is back for next year, and I would think they're going to be even hungrier than they were coming into this season to outdo what they did this year.
Well, I would think that too. You know, I don't want to underestimate, though, the impact that those 3 kids have as seniors. All 3 of them played. You know, all 3 of them started, you know, at times, and all had very significant roles in our success this year. So 3 out of 7, that's a big chunk of something to lose. You know, we do have a nice nucleus of kids coming back, but we've got some holes to fill for sure. So, you know, we got to get out and work towards that and make sure we fill them with the right kids and develop the kids who need to fill those holes who are already here.